I'm Brando.
Pat.
And we got Tyler. Tyler in the house. Look at him.
Hi.
So patriotic. So cool. We have got a ton to talk about. We have got some... you know what? Let's do a giveaway. Let's give away a hat. It's the least we can do. Let's give away a hat tonight. I brought this out here. We've got these dope hats. Where are these from? The Gorilla Tees, right? Out on like the east side of Rochester. Super cool dudes. We've got a lot of cool stuff out here. We've got guns, we've got cases, we've got guns, we've got pats. We've got a lot of cool stuff.
Guns and cases and pats.
Let's get our sponsors.
Okay.
We gotta just nail them
right
away.
Right out of the gate. Right in front of you down there on the table, we have a bag from API. That specific
let's go to the close-up cam.
Yeah, show them the close-up of the M4 bag. So that bag specifically is designed for your M4 carbine style AR pattern rifle with or without an optic, and it's a very generously sized case, right? All their cases. Bag. I'm sorry. Yeah, all their bags are very generously sized, and they have great Velcro and patented or proprietary, rather. Shouldn't say that other word because I'm not sure on that. Proprietary VCI technology.
Yeah, 5-year warranty. And did you see Mitch was down to do a test? He wants us to like get a gun or a piece of metal or something and like bury it. I think we should just do it like right on stream someday. Like we'll just get like a bucket of mud from right up back, and take a gun, put it right in there,
chuck it in there, and let it sit.
See how it works. I know it'll do great.
Yeah. For sure.
Our other sponsor. So this protects your gun. What about if I wanted to protect my body? Preserve my body?
Well, you got to get stronger, man. And then you're going to go to Beyond Driven Fitness, Main Street in Leroy, right? They have 24/7 access.
That's awesome.
They have student discounts. They have spin fit classes, boxing fitness classes. You name it, they have your bases covered. Great people as well. Really enjoy spending time with those guys.
Just everything you'd want in a local mom and pop gym, right? Like
yes, I would say that is like when you said mom and pop, I'm like, yeah, Matt, and I guess like the ownership there kind of fits in that mold. But
locally, not a big chain. It's
right? No, definitely like a local small business.
Yep.
And owned by a little partnership of people and just.
How long have they been over there? Do you know?
I want to say they got established in 2018.
Yeah, nice.
But, yeah, they've been there for several years. They're doing well.
That's awesome.
And we're doing well.
That's great to see friends rising up. We all rise together.
100%.
Right?
So can we talk about these cases?
Let's get some of this stuff out of the way.
Yeah, we'll get them
So, big fan. I personally am a big fan. I know you are. I know Tyler is a huge fan. If you have the budget for it, which it's kind of one of those things like when you go into a project, usually you think of like, okay, the rifle's going to be this, and, then what's my budget for an optic, and then what's this. If you can, from the start, Pelican case, at least one. If you can get, this is almost the ideal size, because it can fit multiple long guns, or a long gun and multiple handguns, whatever you need to do. This is the 1700? 1750, rather. This is the 1750 with wheels, made in the USA, and we're starting to carry them here. We've had some Pelican stuff on and off, like the smaller cases, but we said, screw it, we're going to jump right in and get all of it. We've got the 1750, I think the 1700, which is just a little bit shorter than this one. Perfect for just like a tactical situation, tactical bag. $299, right? $299 right here at TFP.
Very reasonable.
Protect your investments. These are lifelong cases. They are awesome, but they are expensive. That's not super cheap, right? $299. These are obviously for handguns, but they have their Vault series, which the only difference with the Vault is they are made in Mexico, but it's the same high-end, same quality, that we know of Pelican.
Sure.
They're just not made in the United States, right? But real close, right? Right next door. Right next door, right? $60, $59.99. This is, they call this one a single, but I know if you were creative, you could get multiple. This is like a Desert Eagle, right? L5, but I know you could get a couple handguns in here if you had to. And then this is the chunky boy. This is the V300. This runs $99.99. And this is definitely like a 3-4 handgun. You could fit a lot of stuff in here, or other stuff.
So,
whatever, optics.
It says right on there, it's a large pistol case, right? It's crush proof, it's dust proof, it's weather resistant, it has locking hasps. Is this a TSA approved item? Do we know that?
That is a great question. I don't know.
They don't specify there, and one of the only reasons, right?
Yeah.
One of the only reasons that I'm asking is because for like,
I would assume it is.
I mean, like it meets it meets the specifications that I'm aware of, right? Which is that it's crush proof and it has locking hasps, and that it has the ability to accept like a padlock of some description. So the only reason I'm asking is because, like, for New York State purposes, like, we know it's specifically designed for a firearm. We know we can secure it to our vehicle using, like, a cable lock or something of that description.
I'm just checking in the manual. We'll see.
Yeah, no, that's a good...
They don't say
They
that
don't
it's
specify
TSA
that.
approved, but
Okay.
that is a great... I feel like... I feel like I've never heard of a Pelican case not being okay. That's like the standard almost, I would think.
Sure.
But it is something to consider. And yeah, with New York State, that's why we got these in. I know this might be a little bit tough to put in your vehicle, but it would fit under some seats if you had to.
The thing is like, if you're going to put this one in there, like, I know in my vehicles, it's not going to go under like a seat or anything like that. So I'm gonna have to come up with some other like
Which
method of
we have
subterfuge
slimmer,
or something like this.
We have the real slim handgun safes.
Yeah,
So I did a quick search,
Yeah.
and it is looking like they are TSA.
Boom.
I'm sure. I was sure that they would
I
be.
figured they
'cause
would be,
yeah.
but I wanted to get like a definite.
They meet all of the That was just
Answers.
They
the
are
immediate
nice.
question that I
Yeah.
kind of had.
So that's just one of the many things we're starting to, we've been to a few distributor shows, and we're starting to get some of that product flowing in that we order, and that's one of the things. And another thing that we got in, Smith & Wesson, they don't really have like master dealer or anything like that. They just, you sell Smith & Wessons, I guess, but they had a deal where if you bought so many, we were allowed to buy the hot new X frame, which is their monster. Think of the 500 Smith & Wesson, the 460, same size as that. Which they still offer those two calibers, but now they offer it in 350 Legend. Which, at first, I was like, okay, so what, But then, because I just haven't spent much time looking at 350 Legend. Now we've got this. This is Winchester. 160 grain bonded protected hollow points, great for deer, hog, or bear.
Sure.
Shoots 160 grain projectile, muzzle velocity 2,200 feet per second.
Does that list what sort of barrel they measured that out of? Because I don't think you're going to get that.
That is with a 20-inch barrel.
Yeah.
So for sure, you're not going to get that with this.
You're not quite going to get that.
They
but you'll get close.
designed, so we don't really have this rule in New York, but I want to say Ohio does. Look at that. I don't know if you want to show that on the close-up cam
Let's take a
up
look
there.
at this guy if we can. So yeah, big, nasty.
It's basically like a longer 9mm, like a super duper duper long
For sure.
9mm.
Yeah.
Right? And there's certain states where to hunt, specifically deer with, if you're going to use a rifle, it has to be a straight-walled cartridge.
Right.
So think 38, 357 Magnum, 44 Magnum, those types of things, those are fine cartridges, but ballistically they don't do well, say, past like 100, right? 100 yards. Whereas this, it's still a straight-walled cartridge. Those cartridges that I mentioned, traditionally a straight-walled cartridge means a rimmed cartridge.
Right.
Think of revolver rounds, right? Which are great, but those are hard to put through autoloaders, right? So if you have an AR-15, you can't shoot 357 Magnum through your AR-15. It doesn't work. It's just too difficult to make the magazines specifically work well.
Sure.
So hence they made 350 Legend.
Right.
So it's a straight-walled cartridge. So it meets the legal definitions. It can be used in all those states for hunting purposes, but it's what do you call it? It's not a rimmed cartridge. It's an auto-loading cartridge case, so it'll work great in an AR-15. So
And yeah, it does have like a similar overall cartridge length where it will fit in the AR-15 magazine well as well, which is awesome.
So it was one of those rounds that came out and it was kind of like, meh, okay, like it solves a problem that that we don't really have because we don't have those rules, but you know, it's gained enough traction that now more companies. I can't remember the AR-15s that were offered in that in 350 Legend from the factory. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Maybe
Not really sure.
people in the comments know, but regardless, Smith & Wesson made this delightful X-frame, which, check that thing out. Now, Josiah...
7-round cylinder, too.
It is. So, yeah, that's kind of neat. You pick it up right away, and you open it up, you notice it's a 7-shooter. It uses, as you're probably, or maybe wondering, you have to use moon clips. And if you're not familiar with moon clips, those are a thin little piece of metal that basically locks the cartridges together all in one because you don't have a rim, right? Think of a normal revolver. You drop your cartridge in, the rim keeps it in the cylinder. Well, with this, it doesn't work like that because you don't have a rim to hold on to. So you use the moon clip, you load the moon clips up, which, to be fair, is kind of a pain in the butt. I've never really spent time with moon clips. I've done it maybe like twice. So it's kind of finicky. It's kind of, it takes a little bit of getting used to. But you drop all 7 of them in, you close it, you're good to go. Josiah said he shot it, and with the porting, there's a giant port up on here.
Yes, we showed that on the camera. And
with the full lug, I mean, this is a heavy revolver.
Very, yeah.
He says it shot like .357 Magnum. Like, it really didn't shoot.
Sure.
Whereas ballistically, this is closer to like 30-30. Yeah. Like, performance-wise. So, pretty neat. We had 2 of them. We sold one pretty much right away, I think, before it even really hit the floor. $1,599. $1,599. So, yes. So, this one can be yours. Come on down, check it out. We've got it. I don't know who else has gotten one. I think we're one of the first shops to get this bad boy.
It is pretty cool. I'd like to see one with an optic.
Yes, I was saying, I don't know. I got to check out what comes in the box. I'm surprised that they don't equip these
with a rail, or
because
there are revolvers out there with rails,
or making a model, and maybe they do. I haven't spent a lot of time on their website lately, especially since SHOT Show. I don't know if you spent any time. Did you go to SHOT Show this year, Ty?
No.
Oh, okay. You didn't go. Have you ever been?
No.
Oh, okay. That's a shame. You should go. He's just kidding. He went to SHOT Show this year. It would be cool. Like if I bought this, I'm gonna put an optic on it, maybe a red dot. If not a red dot, for sure.
Don't you dare put like a rifle scope on that. If the eye relief...
Well, because then it's...
Yeah.
Right.
You'll make that an SPR.
I put an ACOG on it.
Yeah, don't do that.
It will be...
Can't do it. I have one or a couple more just quick updates. The new issue of Recoil has hit the shelf, which we stock here at the Firing Pin. We've actually had them for like 2 or 3 weeks in the back. It's been so hard not to put them out because it's just one of those things like you're supposed to display the old one until... I think
it was
yesterday, I think, right. Yeah. So now we can finally put this one out. There's some cool stuff in here. Is the 1911 relevant again with all these 2011s coming out and being super popular and the way they're making them? That's the question they ask on the
Did you read the article?
I didn't. No, I just looked at I can't read. I just looked at the pictures.
That's fair. I haven't read it yet. I was wondering, like, is that...
From their point of view, yes, because, the Dan Wesson DWX and the staccato pistols and all those, and it's one of those things like yes and no. I would say for the average person, no, because the barrier to entry is just still too high. So, do they exist? Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is to get like a good gun that's going to be reliable enough and accurate enough. I don't know, man. Like, to me, as far as like carrying one,
that's what scares me. Yeah, like
probably not, right?
I'm too practical, or like I wouldn't want, like, it sounds silly, but like I would hate to use a $2,000 or $3,000 pistol and then it's like I use it to protect myself, and that's great. And then that's the best choice. That's the best choice. Like, yeah, but then you're right. Where it's like, is that better than a Mr. 920 or a
right, like
365 macro? Like, is it arguably like? It's cooler, for sure. If we're talking cooler, no fucking doubt. Like,
but is that really worth it enough? And then, like, realistically, my, like, Glocks and stuff are accurate enough for anything that, you know what I mean? For anything that I'm going to do.
If you want to drop $2-3 grand on a pistol, though, come down, we'll help you. Like, we can do that, if that's what you want. But
no, I think it's awesome. I think people
are they relevant? The question is, are they relevant?
So I think for some people,
for the average person, I would say no.
Well,
that's if I frame it that way.
Competition, And
Sure.
like,
Yeah, if you're Kevin Bach,
here's the
sure.
right. I was gonna say Kevin's probably watching us now. Well, we're being throttled pretty hard again, but yeah. So for Kevin, definitely right for a guy like him, or I don't know. What about for duty use? So what do we think about that?
Oof. I mean, yeah, if your department will buy you a Dan Weston DWX, sure. Sure.
I don't know, man.
Is that what you meant? I'm sorry. I didn't mean
Yeah,
to
no,
say so.
I kind of like
Yeah.
because I know guys that carry like cool guns for work. That like, but they paid for them. Not
I don't want to like tell stories out of school, but yeah, it is interesting. We know people that have come down here and they're like, yeah, I was in charge of picking the gun, and that's what I wanted. And there's like 8 of us, so it wasn't really an issue. You know what I mean? Where it's like obviously like RPD or Monroe County or even Genesee County could never do that.
Right.
Like, yeah. So come on down if you want to read about this. And a lot of other Pro 2A topics. I'm glad to say that we are stocking Pro 2A literature, and I'm open to suggestions too. If there are other magazines that are, Pro 2A, Pro 1A, any of the A's really, all of them, yeah.
DNA.
Send over your recommendations. We'd love to, get y'all learned.
Ty, what do you got? Questions, comments, concerns, bitches, gripes, complaints?
Other people?
Anybody interacting? Do they hate us?
Yeah, we're constantly hated because of the freezing and lagging.
Sucks.
Yeah, that
I
I
get
can totally see from.
It's probably all those tabs.
No, I have one tab open.
No, that guy.
I've got. I mean, I want to figure the freezing out. Regardless, other than that, really no questions yet. Do you want to talk about SHOT Show?
Yeah, I think you should.
Okay.
I think you should talk about SHOT Show.
Or do
Yeah.
you want to talk about our big secret first?
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so Freedom Weekend. We're going to announce Freedom Weekend June 10th and 11th. It's actually going to be a full weekend again.
Dang.
I think for the past couple, it's only been a Freedom day.
Freedom
Right,
Saturday.
yeah, Freedom Weekend-ish. But no, we said, nope, we've got too much we want to do. We're going to go a full weekend.
Nice.
And you know what? We're going to be doing a lot of fun things this year. Number one, I don't know. Do you think people would be interested in shooting machine guns?
People hate machine guns.
Like, and
in
not
my
just
experience.
like, okay, an MP5 is
Nothing's
cool.
confirmed yet, though, on that.
But like, what if we had? What if we could get like a belt fed, like something that feeds from a belt? That'd be cool, right? Like, would people be interested in like,
Meh, I don't know.
I don't know.
These guys don't.
like,
I don't know.
like they probably wouldn't be interested enough for me to hire a guy to bulldoze some dirt so we could shoot like a Madus. Like that would be stupid, right?
Probably they don't want to do that.
No one would want to do that. I bet. No. So, all right. Well,
Right into the.
we got the we've got our answer. So, but yeah, we cannot confirm anything yet, although we do have some machine guns of our own and we're trying to increase that collection. It's not really been a priority of ours, but we realize that there's a lot of people that want to shoot those, so it's like, why are we holding on to
Why are we
something pretty
dragging our
cool?
feet? Yeah.
So we are increasing that program. For us, it's always just been the staff. Usually we only have 2 people on. Maybe there's another guy in the back working on like all the guns that are coming in or going out or ATF compliance or whatever. So like there's 3 people here, but really there's like 2 like working, we say, like the counter. And then if somebody comes in, it's not that we don't want to have you shoot a machine gun, but then it's hard because then there's one guy at the counter, and then if things get it's just crazy, right? So we are working on increasing our staffing a little bit in key times, or maybe like working on scheduling people to do this, but
Sure.
we're doing that. So
You know what'd be cool is if we got like a 3-round burst gun, right? Like
That'd
an
be cool.
M16, A2, or A4,
it's like
something like that.
more controllable. Is that what you're thinking?
A little bit more controllable, yeah, but also like we could put like a can on it, and
That'd be cool.
you know what I mean. They could
Yeah.
probably be a little bit. Now the thing about those triggers, as you know, the triggers have a memory, right? So if you shoot 1 round instead of 3,
Then it will-
then you're gonna have to shoot 2 the next
Yeah.
time, and then you got to be really good about like resetting the trigger. So the staff that was in there helping out with that would probably have to be like pretty squared away on this stuff. But yeah, I do think it'd be like more controllable as far as shooting 5.56 on
Sure.
the indoor range, right?
Sure.
Because you're talking about like shooting a belt fed. Obviously, on the indoor range, unless we mount that shit,
Yeah.
it's going to be
Yeah.
a challenge, right?
Yeah,
So,
definitely. The friend that we have has a few like tripods and
sure,
you know,
no,
yeah,
mounting
definitely
and stuff
the
is
way we
good,
have to
but
go.
like if you want to be able to shoulder fire
Oh,
something
sure.
bigger
Like a saw
than the
or
9,
whatever.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the saw would be cool, but like for bursts, I
Sure.
think that would give us a
Especially,
good...
you know, like I'm sure the military too, they don't just hand you a 100-round belt with a saw standing up and just say, okay, go ahead, recruit. Like,
Not-
that's never done this
that
before.
was
Like,
never in my
yeah,
experience.
like you build up to that maybe. Like I've seen the
Well, I
videos
mean-
where the guy shoots 2 of them at the same time.
Yeah, I had a friend that did that a couple times. It was pretty cool. I couldn't do it. I was never that big. I was never able to do that.
But okay, so that we can't like confirm anything. Like the details are still being worked out, but the intent is a bunch of machine guns here for Freedom Weekend.
Yeah.
We are going to need volunteers. So if you're watching this, chances are you're one of our like diehard supporters. So we are going to need volunteers just, you know, in general for Freedom Weekend. So if that's something you're interested in, hit us up on Facebook, send us an email, sellmeyourgun@gmail.com. Just, you know, get in touch with us. Let us know when you're here. You know, get in touch with Ty or me or, you know, one of the guys. We'll take your info because we're going to need help with like parking and just general, you know how it is. Like the staff are going to be just so busy selling stuff and then like working the range with machine guns and stuff. We just need so much help, and there are benefits. If you're TFP's friend, there are benefits.
That's
let's
for
just
sure.
say you want to be. You want to be
benefit our friends a lot.
FWBs with us. Yeah, it's a good. Another thing for Freedom Weekend this year that's going to be new, or I guess open to the general public, we're going to have an after party, like an official after party. So it's the same night. Saturday is the same day as Park Fest for Bergen, and as far as I know, they still do their fireworks generally. So that'll be a fun time if we stick around till 10. There's a cool fireworks show.
Sweet.
That. Yeah, we've got kind of the best spot in the house to watch that from, like the pin, and we got a cool bonfire pit out back that the boys enjoy 2, 3 times a year. We used to go out there a lot when we were all, you know, young
Kids.
and yeah, we were just kids fooling around. But we got a bunch of pallets out there that we can burn and have a good time, and I don't know, we'll have some fun with it. So June 10th and 11th, put it on your calendars. Freedom Weekend 2023.
Nice.
We're looking for vendors too. I don't want to just keep rambling about Freedom Weekend, but we're looking for vendors. So if you have a small business, we have never charged vendors to show up to Freedom Weekend, and we're still not gonna. So if you are a vendor and you have a small business and you want to sell your wares, let us know.
Come pedal them.
Yes, come pedal your wares. And we have sponsorship opportunities too, lest I forget. So if you are maybe a little bit more established, or you want to get your business more established, you want to get your name out there, we have sponsorship levels. We'll be announcing at every level from like $200-$300 on up to $2,000-$3,000, you know, for like the main ticket sponsorship, which we've had
Sweet.
several times in the past. I've always, you know, that's always like an awkward thing, like, hey, sponsor our event, like, and you know, like it's there's some hubris there, like, you know, my event is so fantastic, you have to pay $2,000 to advertise,
But it's
like,
value for value, right? Because there's going to be a lot of people
Yeah.
there, and like you're going to get a
we don't
chance
make,
to
you know, we
talk
never
to-
made them do it. One time it was their idea, they came to us, so I
Right.
was like, all right, sure. So yeah, big info dump there on Freedom Weekend, but June 10th and 11th, come on down.
Sweet.
Can't wait to have you. So Pat, do we have any questions first? No. Pat, you had a delightful class last weekend, did you not?
What, the ladies you mean?
Yeah, how was
they-
that?
Yeah, no, that was good. So we had for ladies only pistol mechanics. We had 5 ladies that signed up, and it ended up being a great class. We had a really good time.
That's awesome.
And yeah,
How many times did you say? I can't even say. How many times did you say Yas Queen? Did you say that at all?
it's not part of my
That's why I'm not an
like
instructor.
lexicon or whatever.
yeah, you've
so
never-
I don't really
You've never said that.
try not to do that, but yeah, I have to really hold it back. You know what I mean? No,
How have you made it this far?
but it was a really good time. They It was an interesting dynamic because the week before I had just like it was open to anybody, right? So it could have been men, could have been women. Happened to be 6 dudes that showed up,
Which
for
is
that
common.
one.
I mean, not that you don't get women in your classes.
Sure,
but
no. I would
yeah.
say that that's like more. That's what happens more often than not, though, right? It's like you're going to see more men than women, and maybe women will be sprinkled in there. But if you
Or, like,
offer a ladies
part of a
only
couple,
class,
maybe.
right?
Yeah.
But if you offer a ladies only class, you may get some more. But you know, I don't know. I was a little bit concerned, I guess, being like not a female instructor. I was like wondering if there was going to be any, or if there would be enough interest in
Sure.
it to like, you know.
I feel like when we first posted it, there was like one comment that someone made saying like, "There's a dude teaching this. Like, how come a woman's not teaching it?" And it's like, well, if there were women teaching it, they would be stepping up and teaching it. And,
Sure.
like, we would welcome that. We would never, not want the best instructors to teach.
Well, we used to have the well-armed
classes.
women here doing their thing, and they were awesome, and like we really enjoyed.
But yeah,
them,
I mean,
being
5
around.
women had no problem coming out. Like, and you've trained plenty of women.
All the time. I do
know,
it all the time.
But
yeah,
it is interesting that in like the general enrollment, I would say almost 100%. Like unless they are a couple signing up together, generally like a woman on her own doesn't sign up. Not for your class
I don't get that-
specifically.
I don't
but
get that many.
I think that's across the industry.
Yeah, I don't
Generally, I think if you pulled, Frank over there, over at Escarpment, I think if I think if you asked around,
Right.
I think generally, until you do those women-specific classes, which,
Well, like I go to
you know.
classes and stuff, and I shoot competitions and stuff, and you don't see. It's just, I mean, they're definitely a growing segment. We
Sure.
know that there are a lot of
Yeah.
female shooters. We know that there are a lot of female instructors. We know that there are even whole groups of women like the well-armed women, and there are all sorts of avenues that they can hopefully get involved.
Yeah.
But we wanted to create something that was specific
Nice.
to the ladies, hopefully that would attract just them into more of something that was comfortable or kind of tailored for them. And I think that they appreciated it. That was based on the feedback
Yeah,
that I kind of
that's
got.
good.
And they seemed to be comfortable just like asking whatever questions and stuff. And I had, I made the comment to them, like, I feel like these classes are a little bit easier to work with in a lot of ways than like a group full of dudes, just because they seem to listen better.
sure.
You know what I
Sure.
mean? They seem to take in more information and like have less of their own kind of self-imposed ideas or whatever.
Right. Yeah, and those, the uncle who was the cop taught him,
Right, yeah.
whatever.
They have less trouble like letting go of that stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, Ty, shot show or questions or shot show.
We'll answer Mr. McGee's question.
He's a nice guy.
I love Mr.
Love Jim.
Yeah. Caltech announced the KSG 410. What do we think about that?
That's
cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, less recoil is better, right? In a lot of instances, and a lot of people that are KSG fans are looking for something home defense specific. So obviously, 12 gauge gets to be, potentially a lot. Now there are mini shells. There are a lot of different ways to kind of work around that or whatever. Ammunition selection is key, but I think having the ability to select 410, that's even opens up more opportunities, I guess.
Is it, I know it really can't be smaller, like, lengthwise, but is it smaller this wise? Is it like
bore diameter,
chunk,
obviously.
chunkiness? Well, okay, so like,
but mag
so
too.
like, say with a 1911.
But yeah,
Like, did they just drill a smaller hole for
Right.
the barrel? Like, so, if you have a 1911, if you have a 9 mil, it's the same size as a 45. The barrel blank is the same size generally for fitment and all that kind of stuff in the bushing and whatever. And they just drill it, so it's like heavier. Like a 9 mil 1911 is usually heavier. Like, is the 410 heavier because
No.
it's
no,
they
it's going to
made it
be
smaller?
like, okay, so 1911,
yeah,
government model,
Yeah.
5-inch,
yeah.
and then baby brown.
That's what I hope. If it's that, I'll buy one right now.
Right.
That's what I want. Yes, it's just so cute. A little 410. It's just so cute.
It's like a shotgun, but smaller.
Yes, that's cool. Yeah, I'm all about. I love Caltech. I know people. You can love them or you can hate them. I've told this story before, but look up there's videos online. I want to say Forgotten Weapons, if you ever heard of him, little channel, it's just starting out. He did an interview with George Kellgren, the founder and owner of Kel-Tec.
Yeah.
And he's this like old Swedish dude who just like did a few too many lines of white powder in the 80s, just like, yeah, guns are cool, make whatever, I don't care. Like, he's just like, guns are cool, and he makes them, and it's like, all right, sweet, man. Like, I love it. He came to America because of guns, and you're my friend if that's the case.
Right. I've said a lot of stuff about Kel-Tec guns in general, and and the KSGs specifically, but like, if they're gonna make one in 410, I think that's probably like the most useful one that they could do for, you know what I mean? In my opinion. So
I read online years ago that Kel-Tec should basically be Ruger's R&D department.
Right.
Like, have them make the crazy designs, but then have like Ruger make them with their quality.
Implement them,
then they'd be unstoppable. Like,
I don't know, but
they just have that. They just have that like 10%, like of, I hate to say chintziness, but like they're neat designs, like the Kel-Tec, crazy cool design, or the Kel-Tec, the KSG, crazy cool design. Their bullpup, the like the RSC, the RDB, all those super neat. They come up with like cool stuff. It's just they're just
Yeah, but Ruger makes really ugly shit too. Like, think about all their semi-automatic pistols, right?
Yes, but those were tanks. They were ugly, yeah, like the P85 series or any of those.
I'm not even talking about those were works of art compared to the frickin' LCP.
Oh, okay, yeah, or the American,
the ECP, and the American, and the SR9. Like those were all abortions of pistols. Like,
you know how there's like an era of Harley Davidsons that no one talks about?
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Yeah, we just don't talk about those.
Well, so you have Kel-Tec making cheap, ugly shit, and then you have Ruger making cheap, ugly shit, and then they get together and start just making. What do you think is going to come of that?
Ruger makes great things, like the Mini 14 is great. They're like Ruger's legacy products, I think, are great.
Well, look at the PC carbine and the LC carbine; they're killing it.
Okay, those are great.
A lot of their guns, like the Ruger American pistol,
Ruger American rifle, for that matter, is
LCP.
Really good. Yeah, there you go.
Well, I was going the other way. Like some companies, they make like the EC9 or that series of guns. All those Ruger made those. I feel like just because they had to, because they got Smith. It's like a Ford and Chevy thing. Like, oh fuck, like Ford makes a mid-size sedan. Like, god damn it, now we have to make like we don't want to make a mid-size sedan, but we have to. Like, so I feel like some of that's like Smith and Wesson makes the Shield. So like we have to have a competing, like, well, we can't let Smith and Wesson just get all of that market. So like even if our gun sucks ass,
but the Shield was a very good gun. But see, that's my point, right? It's like Smith and Wesson makes the Shield, and then what Ruger can do in answer to that is all they can accomplish is an EC9 or an LC9.
Boss. We tried, boss.
You know what I mean? Like
we tried our hardest.
That's really bad.
That's the Cub Scout motto: is do your best.
Wesson supports freedom. Ruger does not.
That is true.
That's another strike against Ruger too. So you're even helping me more.
I'm fully agreeing with you. Ruger is notorious for wanting to disarm civilians.
Yeah, Bill Ruger hated the Second Amendment, right? He liked to take gun people's money, but he didn't like gun people to have gun rights.
Mini 14 doesn't take
AR mags, exactly. Yeah.
All right, fine. Don't do it then. Ty, SHOT Show. Discuss.
Hi, it was fun.
All right, end the stream. That's it.
Goodbye.
So it was your first time, right?
First time, it was.
Why don't you switch you should be big, we should be small.
But I'm small, so I want to stay small.
Jesus Christ.
No, it was really fun.
How long have you wanted to go to SHOT Show?
Since I started working here in 2014. Yeah.
Only took you 9 years.
But, I mean, getting into the hotel was really cool because, we're signing in and I got to meet Donut Operator right off the bat. Just
some guy I watch on YouTube. You guys probably watch him.
So he was like behind you in line, right?
Yeah,
To check
and,
in,
like-
and then embarrassingly you couldn't check into the hotel.
Yeah.
He's like, oh,
Yeah. Ooh. I'm not
awkward.
one
I'm gonna go to my room. It's probably like a presidential suite. Like I'm
No,
gonna go to my
seriously.
room. Yeah. Oh,
I'm
sorry,
not one
guys.
to approach. I'm not going to say celebrities or famous people, but like if there's somebody that like is famous, I'm not going to go up and like annoy them. You know what I mean? I kind of play like a hands-off approach, but I apologized to him and it's like I love your content and shook his hand, so I felt that was really cool. Saw a lot of famous people. Garantham was probably the most notable. Like
That's
he was
cool.
standing from. He was probably standing like 20 yards away.
That's cool.
from
You
me,
get to
if
see
that.
him because didn't he get sick and miss like most of the show?
I could have shaken his hand at the Primary Arms booth, but they said he was canceled. And then it turns out he showed up anyways, which made me mad because I was like
Damn it.
planning to see him and get
Yeah.
his signature.
Never wash that hand again.
Never once. But no, I don't know. It was just weird, like to see like some guy I idolize and have watched for so long, like 15, 20
Did you
yards.
say he's pretty short?
He is pretty short, but like,
Because he comes across like I would guess he's like your height,
yeah, on
well over
camera.
6 foot. Like,
But like most of these guys like have served and have been in gunfights, and being my height in a gunfight doesn't sound great.
all the packs, all the marching in the military
It just
Makes him
compresses.
shorter.
compresses the spine.
Like Sniper Dan is lethal because he's like
Little wiry dude.
5'4".
He's gonna
please don't shoot
There's
me.
gonna be a bullet just from parts unknown. Wanted. He's gonna curve it.
You'll live to regret that.
I got like 2 more minutes before this bullet hits me from Alaska.
That Bronze Star, like no matter what his like his driver's license is 6 goddamn feet. That's what a Bronze Star gets you. So Shot Show.
It was
how
just
many
awesome.
steps a day did you walk?
On average, I didn't make an average, but if I had to add them up in my head quickly and divide it, I would probably be like 2,300 steps a day.
23,000.
23,000. Sorry, I'm bad with
I
that.
know you are.
23,000.
Which is like, do you remember how many miles that was? It was like
Probably like 13 miles.
it's crazy far.
A day.
Yeah.
And that's from like waking up at 7, going to the show, and then staying out till like 2, 3 a.m. Because it's Vegas. So a lot of steps. I think the last day we were there, it was 29,700 something.
That was the high
steps.
number I remember you said.
Yeah,
to me.
it's just
that's
stupid.
crazy. I remember like Monday when they came, like the first day they were back. Like, so you flew back on Saturday. You had Sunday to recuperate, and then Monday you're back at it. And like they literally, him and Josiah were like walking like 80-year-old men. They're just like, we're fucked. Like, yeah.
And you get a lot of swag. Like every company is giving you out 1 million pens, patches, stickers.
Has any of that made it back yet?
No,
Yeah.
but it like towards like 4 or 5 hours of walking around the show, your pack is weighing like 20, 30 pounds in just patches and stickers. So you're walking all of these steps, you have all of these patches and stickers on you, and it hurts. Like Josiah's feet were like just a single blister.
Oh.
And but other than that, like just it was just really cool to overwhelming. It's like everyone asks you, "Oh, how's your shot?" Like you're in the elevator ride, like, "Oh, you must be going to SHOT Show. What's your favorite thing?" There's no one thing you can really point because there's
Sure.
so much.
Yeah.
There's so much. The third day in, Joe and I were just walking, and we walked into this random room, and we were like, "Oh, this is more of the show that we have not even known has existed." And there was like 2 rooms like that where we just, how have we missed this? Holosun, I think, killed it. I think they had the best booth. They didn't have like the prettiest booth, but they had like the best like reveal, in my opinion. That was the first booth we saw.
Wasn't it like right in the opening too? Like
Yeah.
you couldn't miss it.
Yeah,
So I watched somebody on YouTube and they were like, "Oh, I don't know how. I just like I missed the Holosun booth." And it was like, bro, if you don't want to talk about Holosun, just say it. But like,
right.
wasn't it like you couldn't miss it? Like,
Yeah, they had a giant banner. It was hard to miss.
yeah.
That thermal though, that new one that they released is amazing. So they had this. It felt very weird holding guns there because there's so many people. You have no choice but to flag somebody. So that feels weird. But there's no firing pins and stuff. And the Holosun booth, they had like an AR frame. There was no mechanical devices in it whatsoever. So it was
Yeah.
essentially just like a rail that you could hold and aim to look down the sights. And the thermal, it has the the scope caps on it. They're attached, so with it closed, you can look through the thermal and you can just see the outlines of everybody in the crowd. And then you flip them down and you can see through it like you're watching the TV through a red dot, like you're looking through the red dot, and all of the people are outlined green. But yet you can see full color like
So
backgrounds. Cool. It was phenomenal, and it didn't weigh that much. The only concern I have, because I haven't tested it, is battery. It's solar, but that was killer.
Yeah. What was the one we were just this guy?
Yeah.
That's the Holosun
SCS.
SCS, and that's the way they're going. Where you never changed battery.
Yeah.
Like it's in there. It's solar powered. Like it's charged from the factory, and like if you need a new battery, like they can change it, but you're not changing it.
Right.
Well-
Yeah, this optic is really interesting because it doesn't have an enclosed emitter only because of the screw placement, but it does have an internal battery that you never have to change, and it has the solar on the back instead
Yes,
of on
it was
the
an
top,
interesting design.
which I think is pretty cool. It's relatively
durable.
small. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be a little bit more durable because it's a little bit
probably get a
more of
lot
an
of wear
enclosed design
up
and
there.
stuff. The button, I like how the button's kind of tucked here on the side.
That's cool, too.
And it's a direct mount solution for the MOS, which is pretty cool because up till now you've had to use their silly ass
Yeah,
plates.
stupid. So Ty, Shot, what are some of the things that you are bringing back to us? Like, what are some of the the takeaways, or like, are you got some new products that are coming in, or like some new collabs maybe?
Yes, but I don't want to reveal too much.
Okay.
You know me, I like to keep
Yeah,
secrets as far as that goes.
Sure. Well, and nothing like you met someone at SHOT Show. It's like, hey, like you met with like Camelback.
That's
we'll say.
yeah.
Like that's when we could tease. Like we might bring them in if there's enough interest, we think, or like they can do like custom water bottles that are like full color, like like our logo,
You can
not just
tell
like
my
in
secrets,
green.
it's fine. Yeah, a lot of branding.
You have 1,000 more companies that you dealt with, like.
One thing I took away from SHOT Show is I want to start branding a lot more. You're going to start seeing a lot more TFP branded gear. I'm currently designing dozens and dozens of hats for us. We have our best good boy Phil on
Yeah, buddy.
logo design, because I know what I like. I know I have the ideas in my head, but I can never make them, and Phil can make them,
And
he
like I
does
can,
amazing.
I can draw it on a napkin or whatever that looks like a kindergartner drew it, but then like it needs to be digitized.
Yes,
like it needs to
to
be
look
like,
good.
Yeah.
So we have a guy that does
Yeah.
that, and he's been, I don't know how he does it with his full-time job, but he's been pumping out some amazing work.
Seriously.
And I am so excited to start bringing in TFP shirts and all that stuff. So with that being said, we're going on sale with all the clothes we have in our shop now to make room for all this stuff.
Yes.
So any of that catching deer stuff that you see, 35% off for you guys.
Get it
Get
out
it
of
out,
here.
please. And archery.
Archery stuff, 30,
Please.
40% off
30
maybe.
Yeah, for live
I'll
stream
make a deal.
viewers. Yeah, we'll hook you guys up. We're just trying to free up a lot of retail space. We need
Yeah.
it, please.
It's one of those things when we first opened, Josh and I, like there were products that we loved, and it was funny because one of them, the guys asked that maybe we should try selling it, and they didn't know we used to sell them like the year we opened. OKC Knives, Ontario Knife Company. We were like, they're local, right? Something like made in Olean, right? Like super high quality. That's who makes, I don't know if it's all of them, but they're one of the manufacturers of like the M9 bayonet for the U.S. military. Like they make great stuff, expensive stuff, but really good stuff. And yeah, the year we opened, we put in like a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 like initial, like we were direct with OKC, yada yada yada. Couldn't give them away. We couldn't, and part of that probably was we were new salesmen. We didn't know, not that we're like grimy and like selling you stuff, but there's an art to it, I'll say, and there's like it's a subtle thing, but it's they're genuinely good products. If you wear the product and use the product, and people see you talking about the product, then they understand. Oh, because if you just see a $200-$300 knife, you don't know why is that so expensive, like but once they learn about it and they love it like how we love it, right? So it's not like we're selling you something, but we had bad luck with them. They just didn't sell. We couldn't give them away, but that was a product that we loved personally.
I love their knives.
That we wanted to sell in the store, but it didn't work. Conversely, there's products like the Mean Arms loaders. I personally don't like that solution. Like, it just doesn't work for me. I'm not saying it's a bad product. I just don't care for it. I think if it was 100% up to me, like if this was like a one-man shop, or if it was like a complete dictatorship, if I was a jerk about it, I would probably not have picked to stock those for us, because it's like, no, those are dumb. I don't want those. Tyler was like, we should give them a chance, though. And of anything we sell in our store, except for ammunition, like as far as a single SKU, we've sold more of those Mean Arms loaders than any other product, like hand over fist. It's been ridiculous. So it's like, with a retail store, you don't know. Like, an archery, it's a very specialized industry. You really have to know, it's not just like ammo where you can kind of just like, oh, you stock it and you buy, you see what's there. Like, is this the right stuff? You buy it. If not, whatever. You really have to have like an expert in archery.
Sure.
And that's just difficult. We haven't pushed it as hard as we should have.
Right.
So, it didn't take off, I'll say, like, naturally for us, like some things do.
Sure.
So we move on and we find things that do. The things that we do well, we like to do them very well.
Gotta be
here.
flexible, man.
So, yeah, exactly. We try out these new products and they work for us or they don't, and we move on. And yeah.
At least we can always sell guns.
Absolutely.
Yo, speaking of selling guns, Ty, we're over here talking about SHOT Show and all the different opportunities that you were out there pursuing. And it occurs to me that I saw a really interesting product. I wonder if you had a chance to talk to the guys over at Sons of Liberty Gunworks at all. Because they have a very interesting new product coming out for people that live in our specific circumstance.
Go on. Which one?
The Behind Enemy Lines rifle. Did you see this?
So I don't. It's hard to remember because everything kind of blurs. There was so much.
So they have a gun that they're specifically shipping with a fixed magazine, and when you hinge the gun open, it's like not the Mean Arms, but the other fixed magazine,
comp.
the comp mag. Right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But they're shipping it with a comp mag, and that's how they make it compliant for New York
And there's
State.
like no mag button or whatever? Or it's permanently fixed or whatever? Or like... Yes. Okay. Cool.
It's permanently fixed. You should check out Sons of Liberty Gunworks.
I didn't see that. They didn't show me that. But I will be honest, Sons of Liberty were probably the coolest people I got to see at SHOT.
Dude, Mike Michalski is like one of my of all the people in the gun industry that like are cool.
They were great people.
I've talked to him a handful of times because I've had orders or different issues or questions or whatever. He is an awesome like resource to the community, a great guy, real Second Amendment.
They're tiny.
100%.
But that's what I love about them. Like,
Yes. No, we need to go. We'll talk after this though about the Behind Enemy Lines guns. But those things are a great
That's cool.
solution.
Yeah.
I haven't been to SHOT, I think, since 2017, maybe, or 16. It's been a while.
I went once in 19.
Yeah, I haven't been in a while, but that was, like reflecting now, that was my favorite part, was meeting the people behind the scenes, because there are a lot of those companies, you go see Smith & Wesson, you're not going to meet Mr. Smith or Mr. Wesson for many reasons, but some of those companies, you're not going to meet Gaston when you go over to the Glock booth. Like, that's not going to happen.
What about his wife?
But from what I hear, that can be arranged. But they some of those smaller companies, like you go to the Sons of Liberty Gunworks booth, like the owner of the company, like Mike, right? Like he's gonna be there.
Miro
like,
Safety.
Matt Roman was there. Like who posted? Does he make those memes? Who posts those memes?
I don't know.
Did you ask him that?
No.
He's got to have a grandson like how I have you. Like he's got to have a grandson that posts his memes for him because those are funny. I can't think of his latest one, but it genuinely made me chuckle. Like. They got some good stuff.
One of the issues I did have with SHOT Show, and this kind of hurt. So like your badge has your first name, last name, who you work for, who you're associated with, and your address. And I would be talking with people and we were having great conversations, and then I'd see their eyes go down to my badge and
you
see
didn't
that
have
I'm
the
from
right
New York.
color of the.
Or it feels like I didn't have the right color. They looked at my badge and saw I was from New York, and the conversation instantly either stopped or they completely took a different route where they almost didn't want to work with me, and it kind of hurt. Like I had to explain to people, like, no, like there's a culture of us behind like we're literally behind enemy lines here.
Guys, that's why I'm here. We're trying.
And it just felt like the industry was turning its back on us, and it really, really.
Dude, I had the same
hurt me.
experience.
I did not like it.
I've had the same experience going to
When Larry
training.
Vickers was here, right?
Yeah, when Larry Vickers was
Yeah.
here, the whole class was like a bunch of underperformers, right? And it was really embarrassing as somebody who was like trying to be serious or whatever, and like, you know, he's like, guys, I'm sorry to tell you, but the gun culture here is like shockingly weak, and like, but there's nothing that most of those guys could do. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's really messed up situation to be in. So I totally understand where you're coming from.
I can't remember who I was talking to, but there was a conversation at the gun counter this week where, you know, if you look online, a lot of guns are marked California compliant, right? California has very strict laws.
You have to be on a roster and all that
Right,
shit.
like if you Smith & Wesson makes this handgun, the X frame. So like any other retail product, this product has a SKU. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? The 5-inch barreled version is 1, 2, 3, 5, right? And the 6-inch is 1, 2, 3, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 8 for the 8-inch version. If there was a blued one, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever, right? Like each product, like everything else, has its own SKU. In California, if you want to sell that SKU, you have to send them like 5 of them to test that you never get back. They do some type of destructive testing on them for whatever fuck all reason. And then that gun, if it meets their standards, can be sold. Now, logically, you would think, like we would do it, the X-frame and all its variants, like, it's not going to be any different if it's a 500
Right.
Smith & Wesson, a 460, or a 3... No. All of those would have to be tested. Every barrel length, every finish. If you make Springfield Armory in black and you make one with a stainless slide, 2 different products, 2 different SKUs, you got to do the whole test again. So yeah, California has a roster. You can't buy the X-frame, you can buy SKU 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I don't like, so that's okay. So the background behind all this. So that's California's system. And the gun companies are willing, I will say, I don't want to say bend over backwards, but they go to great lengths to make products available to California residents. I don't know if they would do the same in New York. If New York came up with some crazy specific law that only New York had to follow, and like say microstamping, I think that'd be our worst fear. If New York said every new handgun has to be microstamped if it's going to be sold in New York, you're not going to be buying new handguns in New York. I just don't think they would do it. And you know, the market will open and one company will, somebody will do it or whatever, but I think the vast majority, you know, same within California, they only have, I don't know what the current roster is, it's several hundred guns probably. Like,
it's a lot of guns.
Many major companies, because there's a lot of people that live in California that buy guns. There are a lot of people in New York that buy guns, but man, that was just something we were talking about at the gun counter, because of our culture in New York being so weak, like, I just don't know if the companies would. That would be a very scary proposition I hope we never have to live out.
Right.
I'll put it that way.
No,
But,
for sure.
Ty, we got any questions over there, bud?
Chat's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, the wife said that it's very laggy tonight, which the number's starting to drop now, but I don't get it.
My number's getting pretty low too.
We gotta call Spectrum again.
Seriously, it's fucking bullshit. I'm half tempted to just throw Dishy up, like, and get the Starlink set up permanently, like, for the stream.
It's not gonna work.
Why not? Yeah,
It's
it worked.
satellites, bro.
It worked out at Polar Wave that one time. It worked fine. Like, it seemed to work better. I think seemed to work pretty good then. It just, I don't know. Did we do it at the normal time back then? I think we did. It was just during the summer, right? Because it was daylight.
Yeah, it was like roughly
But
the normal
It
time.
was normal time.
Pretty close.
The only issue that I've heard with Starlink is if you're using it around now, like when everyone else is on the internet, it can get very laggy too. But
Makes sense.
it is what it is. It's worth a try, I feel like, compared to this.
Just hate being in the corn.
What?
Being in the corn sucks for this reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, before we go, because sounds like good time, close to a good time to wrap up. I did want to talk about this cool rental gun. I was out there. We were out at the gun counter looking around for different stuff to talk about on the stream, which we can talk about those guys too. And I was looking at this Glock 47, which I don't know if we've talked about this on the stream yet.
I don't think so.
But I was looking at the SCS, and if you guys are looking for a new optic, such as the SCS, you know, specifically one that would mount to your Glock MOS slide, or if you're looking for a new handgun, specifically a Gen 5 Glock in 9mm. We have the 47 with the SCS here for rent. Very good gun, very good optic, and you should come check them out.
Amen. And yeah, I just brought out a couple long guns. These Henrys, we got like 4 in, I think. They're one that kind of like comes and goes. They I don't know if they just make these in like giant batches
Right.
at Henry, and then they don't make them for the rest of the year. It's like a Christmas thing they only do once a year or whatever. But $349. It's the Henry Survival Rifle. Wait, where's the rest of the gun? It's inside. The whole gun's in here, right? I'm not going to take it out, but trust me, it's in there. Perfect gun. Thank you, Ty. Perfect gun to throw behind, the rear seat of your Cessna, or under, the seat of your car. Although that's a little iffy now in New York. You're going to want to have it locked up. But great survival gun. And I have not tested this, but they say they float for
They do.
an amount of time. I don't know if they will float indefinitely, but
I floated one. It definitely works.
yeah, that's pretty neat.
Vaseline on the seat.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, if you seal them up. That gorgeous beauty.
This thing is really cool. Probably they weigh about the same, I would guess.
Probably.
This probably weighs about the same as that AR-7. So this is a Kimber model 84L. 84. The L stands for light. This is a Montana version of this gun. So specifically what that means is it's got your really thin profile barrel here. It's stainless steel with a synthetic stock, and it's 30-06, which is awesome.
The only rifle caliber that matters. That's just what the tag says.
God
Whoever
bless.
wrote it. Yeah, God bless.
Crazy used to shoot people with that.
Right? Like, that was that. Like,
Yeah,
In World War,
Like
Yeah.
World War II, Pat. That's what you would have been issued.
I
Like,
know. I've been playing the shit out of some Sniper Elite at home, and that yeah,
5?
yeah, 5,
I want to get 5. I don't have 5 yet.
dude, it's legit. You should
I should
come.
bring-
You should come play some.
I should bring my PlayStation in, and I should just stream Sniper Elite. And we should have a live stream and talk.
Dude, no, you should.
Why not,
You
though?
can invade somebody else's game.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, so I had somebody, I didn't know to turn it off, and I had somebody come. I'm like playing a mission, and somebody comes and like cuts my throat. I'm like, what the hell?
What?
I'm like getting ready to
So funny.
smoke a dude. But yeah, so anyways, very lightweight rifle. This thing probably weighs all of like 4.5 or 5 pounds. It's
Very
ridiculous.
light, yeah.
It's got a full length claw extractor, which I don't know why, but for some reason that just really does it for me. I just really like
Very nice.
the idea of having that big Mauser style extractor. It's got the 3-position wing safety like your Winchester Model 70, which is nice. So here it's in fire, and then you got safe, and then you got bolt locked on safe. Which is,
I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good feature. Comes with both your sling swivels on there. $1,800. So
Definitely worth it. Not a gun
100%. That's a great rifle.
that is easy to find. That is the
Oh,
tough
you know what I
part.
didn't notice too? Super short length of pull on the stock. I didn't
Yeah,
even notice
it's really
how
nice.
I didn't even notice how small and
You got a
handy.
nice thick hunting jacket on or whatever. It kind of compensates for that. But yeah, if you hunt on the move, or if you have a long hike to get to where you hunt, man, that's the rifle that I would want.
You want to talk about that one?
Sure, yeah. This is a gorgeous JM stamped, which means it's a real Marlin 1895 guide gun. So this is a Marlin from, Marlin has gone through some issues like everyone has, buying and selling and whatnot. They were owned by Remington. There was some issues there and whatnot, but a real Marlin has a small JM stamp, which this one has right here on the barrel, which means it was made,
Before Remington.
yeah,
bought
it's
them,
so it's a good one, quote unquote. We're asking $9,000. We're asking $1,000 for this one. Very desirable rifle. Very hard to find a new one, which same as Remington. Remington, I would say before 2007 was it when the Freedom Group bought them, but there was a time in Remington history where they were seen as very, very good, and then there was like, they fell off the wagon. This is from when Marlin was very, very good. I think their new production stuff is good. It's certainly better than when Freedom Group Remington owned them. I don't think it's as good as this.
I was gonna say if you buy a new version of that gun, you're probably gonna pay $1,300 or $1,400 for that same model or a similar model that is definitely not the same quality.
Right.
So
Right.
I would definitely hop on that before I would start looking around for a new one. You're gonna sell that real quick.
Super, super nice gun. And I don't know if they all come with the straight stock or if it's more.
I think the guide gun.
I think they do. I can't remember if this one is special with the English stock or not. But yeah, pretty sweet gun. We had a
wish it's
Henry.
ported.
That would be cool. I think that's the only advantage maybe a new production one would have. I think all of the new ones are ported. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's one of the only main changes. But yeah. We've got a bunch of guns in stock. There's a ton of stuff. It's been difficult with AR-15s, obviously, ever since September, when you've needed to have a semi-auto rifle permit now to buy any kind of semi-auto rifle. Sales for those have just dropped right off for us.
Which was the intention.
Which is what they wanted. Yeah, absolutely. So I think at some point, I'm not going to say it'll like catch back up to where it was, because there was a time, and obviously like the pandemic made everything crazy and whatever. But I think lever actions are making a big comeback. We've got a lot of, I would say, like non-traditional maybe inventory stuff that if you came into TFP over the past 2 years, we were very focused, I would say, more so than usual on like AR-15s, because that's what the market wanted. That's what people were asking for. So that's what we were helping them with. And we've always been great on handguns, but the lever action, we've got, I don't want to say 10, but there's probably been at points 10 up there on the rack, which over the past 2 years, we probably never had any lever actions up. During the pandemic, I would have said we had no lever actions up on the shelf. Maybe one here or there.
Consignment ones would come
Sure.
in and go right back out.
But now we've got a bunch of Henrys, some Ubertis, some Cimarrons. We got a bunch of stuff. So pretty cool there. And yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff. Oh, we've got some big safes again. Not big ones like Liberty safes, but I was recently at a distributor show, and Hornady came out with, I would say, like closet-sized safes. So the biggest one is, it's like
How many guns to hold?
probably 10, probably a good 10. Although if you got creative, if you put them in API bags or socks or both, you could get more because you can stack them deep. You know what I mean? You can stack them on top of each other. But they are designed for someone who is into firearms, maybe just for the self-defense reasons versus, someone who's into collecting. And I know there's a huge Venn diagram overlap of those. But as you know, if you've tried to buy a safe, we used to be in the safe business. We used to sell Liberty safes, 1,500-pound safes, and they're ridiculous. They're hard. A lot of people live in apartments. Ty, how fun was that moving your safe? It was ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
It's not fun for a lot of different reasons. Security and just the literal ass ache that it is of moving one of those giant safes. So this Liberty safe, or this Hornady safe that we have, it's the one downside I'll say is it has no fireproof rating. But, that's not like a legal requirement for a safe. That is nice if you can afford the fireproofing, but I don't think that means much, to be honest. I think your stuff's still going to get screwed no matter what if it goes through a fire,
I think if your gun safe is in a building when it burns down, most likely your stuff is going to...
And generally they're not waterproof, so like there's going to be water intrusion anyways. Like there's a bunch... you need, though, in New York, and it's generally a good moral thing to do anyways if your situation demands it, but in New York, you have to keep your stuff locked up if anything happens to your firearms. We had a customer of ours whose child gained access to their firearms, took a picture was put on social media, permit revoked, gone. All rights to own every firearm.
Is that like a recent thing?
Gone, yeah, within the past month probably here. So you need to do, what you need to do to secure your firearms, right? And so this Hornady safe I like. It's $8.99, so it's relatively inexpensive. That's like one good quality firearm, right? And it only weighs 170 pounds. So a good 2, maybe 3 person team lift, or one like Pat could do it by himself. Just throw it over his shoulder, take it up wherever it's got to go. So it's much easier to get that into wherever it's got to go, right?
Sure.
And it's a genuine. Hornady's got some pretty cool features for their safes. I'm not one that generally likes to, and you don't have to use any of these features, but like you can have your phone synced up with it on like Wi-Fi, right? Can't you, Ty? And I think if you just like walk up to the safe and push a button on your phone, it'll open up. So
That's pretty cool. That's a great feature.
They make it very accessible. I think it has all of their technologies available to it. I'm sure you can use that wristband they sell. They have like those rapid safes, which I like. I think that's a pretty cool concept too, of like you can like wear a wristband to bed. And you're not going to have to be fumbling for anything. Like it's you're wearing it.
What if
right?
somebody hacks it?
So I don't enjoy technology mixing with that. So I do think you can still just use a key. We haven't opened one up. I saw one at the show. We only ordered 2 of them though, and I want to sell both of them. If both of them sell, and if it's a good product that is popular, we'll get one in just to display and show off. I like though too. I know I ordered some, but they didn't come in yet. So there's like the big one that's like. Not quite as big as it's not on camera, but like an arcade cabinet size, I would say, maybe a little bit smaller than that. But they made one that like it's skinny, very very skinny, like smaller than a school like locker, right? And it's designed to fit like 2, maybe 3 long guns and 3 to 4 handguns. So again, it's just a very self-defense minded one. Maybe this is some safe that you keep in a more readily accessible area, maybe in like the coat closet by the door or something like that, or this is maybe a secondary safe for you, and that one's even cheaper, obviously. But I just like these, that they were, they're strong, they're good, they're Hornady, good safe, storage for your firearm, which is legally required in New York, and they're just easier for the average person to get,
Yeah.
So
No, I think that's a great idea. I definitely am obviously pro security when it comes to your firearms. One of my main concerns though is like digital security measures as opposed to like analog.
Sure.
Seems to me like in a lot of ways analog security measures are a little bit more just secure in the sense that like you can't hack
True.
the combination lock on my gun safe, right? Like you can't, you have to like replicate a key or pick a lock or
right.
You know what I mean? Like
right. I do think like I want to check out like the Lockpicking Lawyer. If you ever watch his stuff on YouTube, he'll get those cheap gun safes, and with like a battery and like almost no time, he can pop one of those open. I think the Hornadys are built pretty well, but any technology obviously is not perfect.
Yeah,
But-
it's just it's a gamble. I don't know.
But we've got them out there, and we'll do some testing. I mean, maybe we'll do some kind of little hacker test. We know a couple hackers.
Yeah, we should probably just
See
try
if
to figure
Donnell can
out
get
like
into
which
it.
of those things are more secure. If there's something that's better than others.
What's like the coolest knife? I'll just lock like a really really cool knife in there, and I'll be like, Dar, if you can hack it,
You win.
you
the
win
knife.
the knife. Yeah. There is a CZ Shadow 2 in here,
Oh,
or something. There's a samurai sword.
The Hanzo.
Oh my wemu.
Hattori Hanzo.
Ty, any comments?
Yeah, just some pest that goes by Jim asking questions I can't read over the air.
Jim spelled with a golf.
With a G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't ask.
GYM.
I'm happy this person linked him to a mental health website.
That's really funny.
like he needs it.
Who sent the mental health website link?
Um,
That's funny.
yeah, you can read.
They win the hat. Whoever sent the mental health thing,
Somebody that doesn't get Jim.
they can win the hat. Who wins the hat?
He gets the mental health.
That's perfect.
Is that? That's good stuff.
I mean, you can just read it. Pull up your phone. Pull up the comments.
That's unprofessional, Ty. Just read it. How?
I can't. It's
Why?
bad.
Is there one word that's bad?
It's the concept of the.
Well, be professional. Get me close without saying it.
it's one of those things where, like,
My
once you pass
friend said,
the event horizon, you kind of can't come back.
Oh, I gotta go read the comments. All right, we gotta go.
all right.
Get out of here and read some comments.
Jesus. I don't even know. I don't know if it shows up on here, the stupid view. Is it about guns?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to play 20 questions. Is it about, like, the ATF?
It's about homeless people.
Okay, well, we're getting somewhere. Jeepers. 39 comments. For legal reasons, this is a joke. I would never think
gotta
about
go up
using
more than
firearms
that.
for anything. What's a good gun if you ran into? Wow. Okay. What's a good group? What's a good gun if, like?
Oh wow.
Well, what's the
For
situation?
legal reasons, you should
What's the? I mean, yeah, we're gonna skip by that. But Jim. I like living up north. Whenever I travel down south, let's just say, I'm always grateful for the cold weather. As much as sometimes the cold weather sucks, you know what the cold is great at?
Concealing things.
Not having homeless people up here.
Oh right.
That sounds so bad.
That is bad.
That is bad. What was your experience with them in Vegas?
I ignored them.
Yes. Same we do up here.
I made sure that they had a warm blanket, food. When I wasn't at the expo, I gave them my key card and let them stay in
Yeah,
the
shower up. Yeah,
Yeah.
get cleaned. Yeah, sleep in the bed. Whatever. But man, when I was in Nashville, it's just very. I mean, I'm sure you can go. I know we have like tent city areas in Rochester, but they are generally not, like where most like. You're not going to go to a Amerks game and walk past there. And maybe just, like I didn't know where I was in Nashville, but like. I would be like, in like there's a lot of people right here, and you'd like turn a thing, and now there's like an underpass, and there's like 50, there's just like an encampment of like 50 people
Lord.
down there, and it's like, fuck, okay, well, we're going over this way. Like, it was just very, very interesting, but
Well, they're new poor.
we're old poor.
We're old poor.
We're old poor, Charlie. Oh, yeah, Jim.
He's my favorite.
Yeah. He's gonna get red flagged when
He's just asking questions.
gun rights. That's how you lose them.
He's already on all the lists, so.
He is a list.
I'll just never forget, like, when we started up the Venture Crew, and it was for 14 to 21 year olds, and we had a bunch of, like, 14 to 15 year old, like, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, like,
Jim, like,
kiddos, like,
20.
who wanted to, yeah, and then there was Jim at, like, 20 and, like, 11 months, or, like, 10 months, and he's like, do you mean if I just show up on Tuesday nights, I can shoot guns, like, and you're only going to charge me, like, a couple bucks because I'm a kid? And I was like, bro, you have, like, 30 tattoos.
Because I'm a kid.
Like, bro, like, aren't you married? Like, there should be like, yeah, you're under 21, but you don't have ink. Like, no,
like the
I'm just kidding.
funniest
You
thing,
like,
man.
yeah, like, aren't we the same age? Like, no.
Actually, one of the women who was in attendance at my ladies pistol mechanics class over the weekend, she was a mutual friend or Jim was a mutual friend of ours, and that was how she got referred.
That's cool.
To the class. Yeah. So thanks for the help on that, Jim. Thanks for everything, crazy bastard. All right, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah,
peeps.
let's get out of here.
Let's
Is there
get
anything
outta
else, Ty? Can we leave?
Hold on.
here. Can we leave?
Yeah, we can leave.
He's just got a gun pointed at us. Like,